What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about something that is possibly pretty major to the whole platform of YouTube, honestly, because I feel like this is a very underrated topic, but at the same time, when it comes down to it, it's going to be something that might come back to bite a lot of people. We're all pretty aware of the Adpocalypse, well, the couple of Adpocalypses that have happened at this point now, and how they've affected pretty much everyone on the platform, how they've pretty much affected how monetization works on YouTube. But this is a topic and a situation that people, I don't think, notice because, well, YouTube isn't really talking about it themselves, even though I think this is something they should be kind of telling people about. And then, of course, this is just something, it's not getting like a lot of mainstream coverage, and it's not really something that's really getting spread around by people. So that's kind of why I'm making a video about it, because I just saw something about it yesterday, and it's pretty interesting, honestly. So you may or may not be aware that YouTube and the FTC actually had a $170 million settlement over a violation of a privacy law called COPPA, which is actually a kids data privacy law. Now, this recently happened, and it was kind of a big deal, but it also wasn't a big deal at the same time. Like, people didn't really like get all mad about this. It wasn't like a big outrage or anything, but at the same time, this is something that could really have like a huge consequence on the entirety of the platform, because YouTube has to make a lot of changes to pretty much the entire website itself to start complying with this law. And the changes that they're gonna make and have to make are going to affect the monetization status of a lot of people. And in reality, most of these people probably have no idea that this change is coming and that, well, their livelihoods are pretty much going to be at risk. So there's pretty much about, I would say, well, 10 weeks or so until this whole thing comes down to it. There really isn't that long until this could potentially start just destroying people. And when I mean destroying people, like, you're going to see incomes drying up quickly. You're gonna see channels disappearing if this actually impacts channels the way that it could, like, especially kids channels, because, you know, there's a lot of kid-friendly channels and stuff that make videos on YouTube, and they directly target their content to children. They make all of their content really geared towards children. We know that. Now, essentially, the problem comes down to this, okay? COPPA is a law that was signed in, like, 1998, I think. That's what this article says. It could be older than that. I have no idea, actually. It's pretty old. It's older than I am. I know that. So, it actually restricts websites and online services and all of these different places and stuff online from collecting personal information of people under the age of 13 without the permission of their parents. Now, at first, it was like, it was supposed to be there so kids weren't out here just giving out all their personal information on the internet and stuff to people randomly and stuff. It was there to protect kids from being kids, being stupid and posting stuff online that they shouldn't be posting and getting themselves in trouble. But in 2013, it was amended by the FTC basically to target websites like YouTube and all these other social media platforms that were basically harvesting their data and stuff like that to serve them personalized advertisements. Now, for however long this has basically been law, it was never actually enforced against YouTube creators, but now that they've settled with YouTube on this whole thing, they actually state that they are going to start enforcing this on individual creators. So basically, if you are a kids channel and you're making kid-friendly content, they are going to be cracking down on that. Because the way that they see it, you're making content that is helping YouTube harvest the data of children, which in turn is basically being used to serve personalized advertisements to kids for things, you know, like toys or, you know, things that kids would typically enjoy. And this is technically a violation of law or whatever. So January 1st, 2020, this is the date, basically, where everyone is going to have to kind of start looking in the mirror and taking a really good look at themselves, taking a really good look at their channels, their content, seeing what's going on here, and they're gonna have to figure out some things. They're gonna have to figure out whether or not they're gonna have a job. Now, apparently this means that content creators will have to basically click a box during the upload process. Now, a lot of channels have basically this checklist during uploading now. It's like a monetization checklist where they go through and they have to answer these questions where it's like, is there swearing in this video? If so, is it like light swearing, moderate swearing, extreme swearing? Is there any nudity in the video? If so, is it light or is it just full-on nudity? Things like that. Apparently, there's going to be another checklist added where it's just like, hey, is this video targeted towards kids or not. And if you check that box, you're preventing the video from running personalized advertisements. Now, you're probably sitting there, if you don't really understand this whole thing, which I'll explain it to you, you're like, Optimus, what's the big deal with running personalized ads? That doesn't sound like a big deal, right? It's just one certain type of advertisement. You know, you can still run all the other types of ads, right? Well, the big deal with that is that personalized advertisements, they make a lot of money compared to a lot of different types of ads. So there's different types of advertisements, but personalized ads, they make a lot more money for a very specific reason. Now, let's say they just throw a generic ad onto, like this video here. Let's say that you're a 25-year-old man and your interests are sports, video games, eating, driving your car, okay? Pretty typical male interests, I would say. Let's say a generic ad on this video would be something like, oh, I don't know, a Head and Shoulders ad for shampoo, okay? That would be a pretty generic ad because that can kind of go for anybody, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much everyone uses shampoo, you know? Well, there's some of you who don't use shampoo, but that kind of ad just can get thrown on anything, you know what I'm saying? But a personalized ad would be something where they use the data where they know, like, hey, this is a 25-year-old man, okay? He lives in this specific geographical region. These are his interests. They might even know, like, your relationship status based on different things that they found in your search history, whatever, you know, there's a bunch of different technical things that they use to find all these different things, and, you know, depending on what you watch on YouTube and stuff, and they use all that to serve you a personalized ad. So like I said, you know, you're a sports fan, right? Let's say they now present you an advertisement for, like, Boston Red Sox merchandise because you're a Red Sox fan. You know what I'm saying? It's a long explanation, but that advertisement would be worth a lot more money than that Head and Shoulders advertisement because it's personalized, and the likelihood of you buying that compared to the shampoo is much higher because you personally are much more interested in that. Now, the FTC has given 10 factors to kind of determine whether or not the video is kid-directed or not. Now, these are listed here on the screen. Personally speaking, based on these 10 things, I think I'm gonna be pretty safe. I'm not out here making, like, toy unboxings with, you know, 6-year-old children and, you know, kid flutes playing in the background and stuff like that, so I think I'm gonna be okay. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you are like, oh, well, what if you don't just check the box? You know, you just lie, okay? Well, YouTube, they plan to use machine learning, which you can hear that and it's not gonna go well, to basically implement a system that's gonna find videos, they're gonna identify them, and, you know, basically reverse your decisions if you're lying. Or even if you're telling the truth, it'll reverse them for you, so that sounds awesome. You know how YouTube's AI works out pretty well, pretty often. Now, here's the thing. Okay, now you're hearing this and you're like, well, it's YouTube's fault for running the whole targeted ads or whatever. Listen to this, okay? There are two YouTube apps. There's YouTube and there's YouTube Kids. YouTube, of course, does run targeted advertising. Now, YouTube Kids does not. So basically what's happening is parents are not paying attention. They're letting their kids run free on regular YouTube where there aren't as many restrictions because the platform is actually meant for more mature audiences, and that's where the kids aren't supposed to be because they have their own platform, they have their own app to go to where there isn't targeted ads and there's more restrictions on the content and whatnot. So parents aren't paying attention, they're not doing their job. Kids are going on regular YouTube, they're getting served targeted ads and whatnot, so that's where this whole problem basically comes into play. And now, people on YouTube, we're being punished because of that. We're having our incomes possibly tampered with because parents aren't paying attention to what their kids are doing. YouTube has the YouTube Kids app with no personalized ads. You know, you let your kid go on there and watch all the videos all day and whatnot. He's not going to get a personalized ad. She's not going to get a personalized ad on there. But now, regular people here on YouTube, where, you know, the things are different because it's meant for mature audiences, now we have to deal with repercussions where people's lives are going to be affected and incomes can be destroyed because, you know, people aren't paying attention to what's going on. Now, thankfully, the FTC is taking feedback on this whole thing, so they're asking the public for comments. I've linked a petition down below, the official change.org petition for this entire thing. I don't think this is going to be a very good idea simply because I already know how this is probably going to play out. We see this all the time, you know, YouTube and all them, they target one type of content, right? Oh, we're only focusing in on this type of content. But then it goes beyond that. They can't ever draw the boundaries correctly, and it affects everybody. You really think this AI is going to be accurate enough to determine whether or not a video is kid-friendly? What defines a kid-friendly video enough for that bot to be accurate 100% of the time? And according to this article, when they asked creators to go into the studio and disable the personalized ads, they saw the income or the revenue drop 60 to 90%, which essentially you might as well just demonetize somebody. Like I said, this is essentially a possible, just another adpocalypse coming, and it just seems like people aren't taking notice to it. The FTC is stepping into YouTube, and they might be causing another adpocalypse. So if you're a kid-friendly channel, you know, you're making kids content here on the platform, or even if you think you're at risk for making kid-friendly content under these guidelines, you gotta speak out, and you also at the same time need to figure out what's going on, because things are looking pretty grim come January 1st for thousands, if not tens of thousands. I don't know how many, honestly. I don't know how many creators, because the scope just doesn't make sense at this point. But thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel, follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below, lots of great things going on down there as well. Thank you to my channel members, your support helps my channel tremendously, and until my next video guys, this is Optimus, possibly calling the next adpocalypse, and signing out.